Dear friends, recently the Chinese press published an article full of provocative words and contempt for the UK with the title, "After being humiliated by China and Russia, the UK again makes an international laughingstock when two warships collision in the Middle East," with words like "the old days, the sun never sets, now sinking into recession and depression." Or "the current UK is a broken empire and often becomes the world's biggest joke." It seems that China is overestimating its own strength and feels it has the right to laugh in others' faces like that. And now we invite you to listen to the detailed content of the article. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave your comments below the video. Your concern will be my motivation, and your encouragement will be our motivation to move forward. Follow me and see my updates every day. Understand the changes in the world. Britain, the country where the sun never sets, in the past, is now in depression. Two British royal fleets are said to have collided in the waters of Bahrain in the Middle East, causing a big collision. A huge hole appeared in the hull of the Bangor, which looked quite funny. How far has British power declined? In World War I and World War II, Britain spent huge amounts of manpower, resources and financial resources, and its national power was gradually weakening. Major countries such as Canada, Australia, New Zealand, India, and Pakistan have all gained sovereignty. Britain lost more than just the above-mentioned countries. The anti-colonial wars launched in various parts of the world made Britain even more embarrassing. Despite this, Britain still follows the United States and often intervenes with force in other countries. For example, when the US launched a military campaign against the Houthis, the UK was its only ally. In addition, the UK also provided Ukraine with warships, reconnaissance aircraft, and banned weapons. This was also the earliest military support to Ukraine. This move will definitely worry Russia, because Russia has already stated that in the event of war with NATO, London will be their primary target. Although Britain relied on the United States to maintain its position on the world stage, the reality is that Britain has lost its former strength and power. Britain's recent performance has become increasingly ridiculous. And it has frequently become the butt of international laughter. For example, before the war in Ukraine, Britain sent a fleet to the Black Sea and was attacked by the Russian fleet while sailing in the waters of Crimea. As for the South China Sea, the British Queen Elizabeth, which had just been put into use, was targeted by Chinese warships and missiles as soon as it sailed into the South China Sea and had to retreat in despair. The emergence of these things once again demonstrated the fact that Britain had become a broken empire. The UK is now the fifth largest economy in the world, its position being taken by India. Even India has said that the UK should also have the status of a 5 permanent members. Can Britain's blind obedience to the United States be exchanged for American recognition? Judging from the experience of Brexit in the past 5 years, the United States seems reluctant to sign a free trade agreement with the EU. This is a more difficult problem for the UK. Britain has been a country with a long history since ancient times. In its most glorious years, its territory spread all over the world. However, after 2 wars and resistance from anti-colonial forces from all over the world, Britain's national power has begun to decline. Today, Britain is dubbed the falling empire, and its endless international jokes have cast doubt on just how powerful Britain is. Britain's record in military activity is getting worse. The recent collision between 2 ships is a classic case in this regard. 2 British ships, Chiddingfold and Bangor, unexpectedly collided in the waters of Bahrain in the Middle East, causing major damage. The video showed that a huge hole was knocked out of the hull of the Bangor. Such wrong actions would actually appear in the military of a country that was once regarded as a powerful force. The decline of British power was evident in many places. First, Britain spent huge resources in World War II, which caused the decline of national strength, and in the wave of anti-colonialism around the world, many countries that were once affiliated with the United Kingdom gained independence one after another, such as Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, India, Pakistan, etc. Although they are still part of the Commonwealth, they are independent countries. Britain's declining strength makes it appear somewhat powerless in the world, but Britain still frequently participates in U.S. military activities. Whether it is supporting Ukraine's troops in the Ukrainian war or in the U.S. military attacks on the Houthis, the UK has always closely followed the United States. However, such following the trend has also put the UK into a very embarrassing situation. For example, before the Ukrainian war, Britain sent a fleet to the Black Sea for military exercises and attempted to break into Crimean waters, but was attacked by Russian warships. In addition, as far as the situation in the South China Sea is concerned, the United Kingdom sent its latest aircraft carrier Queen Elizabeth to the South China Sea. As a result, it was targeted by Chinese warships, missiles and other weapons, and was finally forced to withdraw. This series of events once again showed the decline of British power. Britain is known as a world power, but it does not have enough power to prove its strength, but is just a diplomatic language. The UK's economic growth rate around the world has been surpassed by India. And India has even proposed that the UK should become one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations. This is even more embarrassing for Britain because the United States is unwilling to sign a free trade agreement with Britain. In short, the current Britain is a broken empire and often becomes the biggest laughingstock in the world. Its power can no longer be proven, so Britain must remain closely linked to the United States if it wants to remain on the international stage. However, without sufficient strength as a backing, such behavior can only become a laughingstock and cannot gain recognition and support from the United States. Has been surpassed by India. Just now there are all the provocative words directed India at the UK by the Chinese press. The UK should become one of the 5 permanent members of the United Nations. Let us know your opinion in the comment section below the video because the United States is unwilling to sign a free trade agreement so we can see you in the next video. The current Britain is a broken empire and often becomes